Thursday it is. It is wonderful to do this 2 days in a row. Yesterday was a bit of a culture shock getting back into the swing. Today it just feels right. What's going on, Paul Maitland? Hello, buddy. How you doing? Carlos, the big winner from yesterday, T-Bone. Oh, what's going on, lady? Hello, Maddie. For one of the few times Maddie is not working and or working out, she is live in the chat. Hello, Maddie. You almost got me to say it, Paul. But Maddie is in the chat and watching, so I can't repeat that filthy, filthy word.
Hi, Maddie.
Jimmy says hi, Maddie, too. Hello, lady. Ninja, oh, now it's a party. It's not a party until Ninja pops in. What's going on, Ninja? I hope your world is wonderful. Please, darling, tell me, how is your Friday going? I need to know. Very busy with work. Very good. Howdy, turts. Jimmy, Maddie says hi. And so I actually have a bit of a theme today. I have something that I would like to talk about today, very specifically. As you saw by the title, it says "Let's Talk Original Art." Not only do I want to talk original art, I want to talk about the different types of original art, what they mean to you as a collector, and what they mean to the market as a whole. Not that we get into the market end too much of it, because collect what you want. That is our mantra. Salute. But I did want to actually go through, I pulled up my eBay page. I'm even willing to show what is in my want list to show you. I put my money where my mouth is. Maddie says, well, speaking of original art, ... ellipses, whatever it is in English. Doug would know. So, I am going to tell you what I'm going to do first, then I'm going to do it. Maddie says, we purchased something awesome at Comic-Con as opposed to purchasing something comic at AwesomeCom. Oh, please tell everybody what I already know about your purchase at Comic-Con, because it may actually knock some people's socks off. Warning, if you are currently cold, beware, Maddie's gonna knock your socks off. You may want to put shoes on to hold your socks onto your feet so that you remain warm after said socks would be knocked off. What's going on, Dangle? Dangle-lang, dangle-lang. What up, man? Oh, Dangle, I shouldn't say we, I can't speak for the rest of DCD Collects, but I have been looking at the sports card market and watching people at the National and the money they're spending. And oh my God, I'm so glad I don't collect sports cards anymore. I am glad that I am into the art market, which is what we are talking about today. Maddie says, we were able to purchase an original oil painting that is going to be a Star Wars comic book cover. It's Padme, y'all! Who did your Padme? Lady asks, DC, it's so sweet how you look out for us. Well, I do what I can. I do what I can. I am but one person, but I do what I can. Not all heroes wear capes. I simply don't do it because then every time I farted in public, the cape would wave, and people would know it's me instead of me blaming Jimmy or Mrs. the Breaker. So that is solely the reason I don't wear a cape, even though some consider me a hero. Eric Gist. We're gonna go with gist because it's a G, has the J sound. Dangle's like, you're a quitter. No, I'm just big brained. I'm kidding, Dangle. Collect what you want, man. Don't let anybody yuck your yum. Don't let anybody poop in your cornflakes. And definitely don't let anybody yank your chain when it comes to what you want to collect. Lee says, and by the way, what's up, Lee? Legendary artist. He says, I blame my imaginary friend when I fart out loud. His friend's name, you guessed it, Harvey. And he's a 6-foot tall bunny. If you didn't follow that joke, we can't hang out. What's going on, Don? Had a chat with Don last night via text after the show. Don is very excited that he is getting a street team t-shirt so he and Carlos match. That is right. Don and Carlos will have matching t-shirts. So if they ever want to hang out together, it is probably mandatory, no matter what they're doing, to wear that shirt. Because why not match? So getting into the topic of the day. Art comes in many forms. There's card art, like Ice Wolf is very aware of, like the whole entire community of card artists, and that includes, of course, the Card Killer, Optimus Volts, as well as numerous that I can take forever to name. Don's like, I'm never gonna take the shirt off ever. I'm gonna shower in the shirt. I'm gonna get all my work done in my shirt. Never taking it off. Yeah, man, that's your prerogative. But I warn you, you may want to wash it unless you are bringing it in the shower with you. Then in which case, I guess that counts. Lee says, Burb swapping out my pants. Well, see, Lee's excited about the topic. Oh, wait, that says paints. Well, same thing. Lee excited still. So art can also come, and let's talk about it in the comic book form. Maddie got it. Maddie got it. And specifically, I want to talk about where everybody's on the pant party. There is apparently a party in Lee's pants, and everybody's invited. Unfortunately, none of you are in San Diego, so likely we'll miss the RSVP. Pretty sure it says pants. I'm fairly certain the I is silent, says Don. It's got to be right. KP's like, no pants allowed. KP's commando. Don't look under KP's table or kilt. Pants off Friday over here. That's right, Ninja. You tell him. Friday in Australia, it is actually illegal to wear pants. However, skirts, kilts, and sarongs are all acceptable. Shorts and capris are acceptable as well, especially in public. But under no circumstances should you ever wear pants if you are ever in the Melbourne area, as it is illegal to wear pants in Melbourne. For those who don't know where Melbourne is, it's in the exact same place as Melbourne, but pronounced correctly. Ninja, you're welcome for that one. So art in comics is actually really important, because without the art there wouldn't be comics, and without comics we wouldn't be collectors of comics. We'd be collectors of, I don't know, Cracker Jack prizes, like Trevor. The difference is Trevor's Cracker Jack prizes can buy a house. The regular Cracker Jack prizes are cheap plastic, and actually now I think they're tattoos. But I digress. There's many actual stages to prepping a comic, and some of those have been lost to the ages. Lady says, I'm shopping for a utilikilt for my kid. I will tell you, to get completely off topic, there were numerous utilikilts, also known as battle kilts, at the Comic-Con. There are a large contingency of people who realize, and I mean this people, I mean men, that realize kilts are terribly comfortable. As long as you get past the stigma, they are fantastic, wonderful, and freeing. Now, whether you're wearing them the true Scottish way or wearing them the American way, which would be sans or with undies. It is completely up to you. I only ask if you're going to go the traditional Scottish way. That heavy bag in the front is there for a reason. Make sure you have something to keep the kilt down. KP says, I think it might be dangerous to walk outside nude in Australia. Too many things can kill you. Whereas Ninja says, I saw in California it's not required to wear clothes whilst running down a freeway, raving a gun about. Ninja, only if you're firing said gun and you are warm to the idea of going to prison for many years. But you are correct. Maddie says, they've gone plaid. Yes, a lot of them have. And speaking of, we have to get Doug in the studio one of these days to, or at least on the Discord, to post the picture of Dark Helmet going plaid, a cosplay we saw at Comic-Con that was Chef's Kiss choice. And yes, I know, I said Chef's Kiss while doing the Chef's Kiss, which kind of defeats the Chef's Kiss. I lost my word. Chef's Kiss action. Action's the word. Action, like Action Comics. You know, the stuff we're talking about, art. Did you tell the Stephen and Elvin story? I have not told the Stephen and Elvin story, and I will gladly tell the story in a little bit. So everybody hang on tight. I have a small world story for you, and by that I mean it is a small world. When two coasts of the United States collide for a crazy conversation and a whole bunch of fun at a Comic-Con. Story after art. So, in order to create a comic, there are a few things that have to happen. All of those things are very important, and only a few of those things are now being done in this digital age. So, I have to say, I have been preaching this for a very long time. Comic book pages, original art pages, published pages are extremely important, as everything is going digital now. There are a few artists, namely, let's say, Barry Kitson, who even though is having things published digitally and colorized digitally, is still doing all of the prelims in pencil, uploading them, scanning them, and then using the process of inking and colorization through the computer. But for most comic books you see, most modern comic books, those are no longer being produced on that old school board that everybody knows and remembers. What's going on, Chef? I'm sorry, Councilman Chef. How you doing, man? Councilman Chef actually doesn't even need to see this part of the video because he already knows the importance of original pages. Mr. Young, how are you doing? Come on in, we're talking about comic book creation and art. We're also having connectivity issues. But we'll work through those. So, typically, traditionally, let's go back to the 80s because that is when I was living my best life since I was born in 1980. Comic books originally were drawn in pencil by a penciler, typically the person that is usually credited as the artist, the penciler. The inker then goes over the top of those. When you're thinking inks, think Joe Rubinstein. Neil Adams penciled, Joe Rubinstein inked, and then various people colored afterwards. So you had one person laying down the graphite, another one laying down the ink, and then finally, those were scanned on a crazy Xerox machine that could fit them. Typically shrunk down to the size of a proper page, whereas the colorist would come in and finalize the production. Now, that is why you will notice all of the pages you see that are for sale do not have color on them, because they are watercolored, typically, after they have been shrunk down, and the original pencils and inks remain untouched. So, you can find original pages on eBay and pretty much everywhere you collect comics. You can find the color guide pages, which is what they called the pages that were painted by the colorist, And then you can obviously find the finished product on your store shelves. But one of those things in between are the proofs. Now, proofs are typically the shrunk down version of the pen and inks that were used to make sure everything was correctly done before they actually printed them and before they gave them to the colorist. Usually those were a one-off. You can find those on eBay for about 50 bucks. I highly recommend picking up one or two of your favorites because they typically are one-offs. Just make sure you're getting it from a credible source. However, what I really need you to concentrate on is original published pages because published April Solomon, the Dragon Lady, is in the house. Hello, April. We are chock full of artists in this chat. The original art pages are going to increase in value simply because it is a forgotten art. It's something that's not being done anymore. For example, if you go back to the old school offset printing press, you will find that those old school offset printing press pages, try saying that 5 times fast, simple one sheet pages sell for quite a bit to collectors because it's a forgotten art. And then you have the original typeset ones where individual letters were used to form words and the spaces were basically just shorter pieces of metal or wood. And they were typically done one sheet at a time over and over again, where the entire book was done one sheet at a time but printed in quantity as it goes along. Those sheets also worth quite a bit in the collector's market. DC, you're rambling. Get to the point. The point is, one thing I noticed at Comic-Con and one thing that I've noticed for the last 2 or 3 years and a thing that I have harped endlessly to Doug and Trevor was the acquisition of original art pages. Because if we look at the trends of previous published items and things that are printed in certain ways and things that are obsolete, i.e., for example, the original iPod. The original iPod, sealed in its box, is worth tens of thousands of dollars. I know, there's auctions for them about once every 6 months. Even ones that are not sealed but in good condition in the original packaging go for thousands of dollars. It's because they're obsolete, they're not being made anymore. Well, doubly so goes for art. Not only do you get to see the final product in the form of a page, you actually get to own the original page. Lee says, I still own the printer plates from my original Star Wars Celebration prints. Exactamundo. These are things that people keep. Chef said, yeah, I might have looked up Sean Chen stuff was going for. Just the sheet was worth the price that I paid. That's absolutely correct. You have hit the nail on the head, Chef. And I'm actually going to go through on eBay a few examples of things that are coming up and things that we have seen. So let's jump over to my eBay. We are going to get started with lower end pages. Now, by lower end pages, I'm not belittling the art, the artists, or where they came from. I'm simply saying these are pages that may not have characters that everyone loves and enjoys or artists that are household names. You can get original pages from printed products like Jonah Hex for as little as $95 plus shipping.